up? This is Liquidated, May 11th. We've had a great week in the markets with Bitcoin and many of the altcoins. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, and to everyone celebrating Mother's Day. Wish you guys have a great day today. We're gonna have Pwnlord on in a bit to do some trenches talk. We might have Spider Crypto if he can wake up in time. We're a little bit early this morning because everyone's got stuff to do today because of Mother's Day. But yeah, we've had a really good week in the market. Some trade talk with Trump related to the UK and hopefully China, which we'll find more about this week, will really determine where we're at in the markets. For me, my BTC bags are up quite a bit. My hype bag's up quite a bit. And a lot of other people are doing good in the trenches. The memes are starting to move, and we're starting to make some more projects there. The U.S. Senate is starting to embrace cryptocurrency reserves and digital assets. Arizona passed legislation for a Bitcoin reserve. And I think Missouri this week waived capital gains taxes for crypto and real estate and some other things. Coinbase obviously acquired Deribit for $2.9 billion, which added made a pretty big difference on the markets as well. I think Bitcoin dominance should come down a bit as the markets start to improve. People are going to start pouring some more money into that space, but we'll talk to Pwnlord about some of that stuff as we move on. I'm going to add him real quick. I made a little bit of an intro, talked about the markets so far, some of the governmental stuff with the taxes and tariffs, but what do we think about memes this week? We think Bitcoin's going to lose some dominance and altcoins should start keep pumping up, or
Yeah, I think what you're gonna see happen is a lot of the a lot of the perp wins. Like a lot of people just made a lot of money in like a 2 day period, like 3 day period. Yeah, I mean a lot of people made really fast money the last like 2 days. A lot of altcoins just exploded. Some of them are still moving. So I think once I don't know how long that lasts, but we're definitely we were all just like looking for stuff that hadn't pumped yet. And usually, it's not a great sign.
yeah.
So I think like, once that stuff starts going like sideways and once the easy money on perps maybe is gone, then I think you'll see people rotate into some like lower cap, on chain stuff. Because they have all this like size now, like, oh, it's been a minute since since we had these kinds of like size plays or whatever. And so I think that money will flow into kind of from the top down, big, mid, small, probably in that
So
order.
so I'm not a perp trader. I don't know if you are either, but it seems like easy money when stuff like this happens. But where do the perp traders kind of lose it all after this? Like usually wait for spots like this. Seems like if they have edge because the perps got to be pretty profitable when the market kind of bottoms. But they're all kind of gambling before that. They're just like, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, and then they're wrong.
Yeah, I guess is your question like, did people even have money to like play this move? Is that what you're kind of
I
asking?
think I
Or
think people had money. I think a lot of people were sidelined or had some reserves. And it seems like with perps, you can make a lot of money with a little. But I'm wondering in spots like this when we're kind of at a market bottom, it's almost like a given that the perp traders will do pretty well. But like, how do they do poorly? Like, I guess is what.
you can hang around for too long, if you don't realize that it's not easy mode anymore.
Hmm.
And if you're like, okay, that's weird, I'm expecting this to continue, because like they've just been like rewarding people who top long, so I think people who overstay their welcome probably get caught up, in that, and then they start churning and chopping, and um yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the main culprit for that kind of stuff.
And what are you looking at right now as far as names? I know you've been on this Vamp coin. Can you talk to me about that for
Yeah.
a bit?
I'd love to. Yeah. How much time do you have? No,
we got plenty.
yeah, sorry, I'm like multitasking too because it's early morning, and I'm catching up. But you have my attention. So yeah, I would tell you a little bit about Vamcoin. I mean, the background is that I don't know when it started. I think it probably started like I think when that Nero coin came out on Ethereum. Uh, there was like it was doing fine, and then someone came along and were like, you know what, that's a really good narrative. We're just gonna copy you, and we're gonna do it better than you. And we're gonna get the right people in and put whatever money into it, and it's gonna do better than the other one. And when that happened, it kind of I guess like I think that was the first time. I mean, don't can't like quote me on it, but I think like when that happened, um, it kind of opened the doors to be like, yo, this is like fair game. This is actually like a valid tactic. And then it really got amplified with Pump Fun. Um, when Pump Fun, made it so easy to deploy, coins instantly. Anyone can do it. Then it was just like, well, why would I go through the trouble of trying to think of like unique meme? I just copy this one. It's easy. You already got all
Yeah.
the content too.
Hmm.
And so it's just been the euthanasia, roller coaster, where now the second a coin starts doing well, someone just makes a new one. And because it's effective, like because like it works, people are like, oh shit, like I'm in the wrong one, or this one has a better ticker, or it really is like wallet pings. It's like, oh, I saw this like profitable trader, rip into this one.
Hmm.
I better get in that one. And then people just rotate back and forth until everyone's like lost money and both coins are dead, and it's made it really hard for like a proper runner. Or at least it kneecaps a lot of coins that could have been really good in my opinion. Uh, and they call it vamping, like a vampire attack. And so the other morning, I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was just like egregious, man. Like people were like, vamping coins that weren't even making it past, 500K market cap. Um, and so I was going to buy Vamp coin because I was like, man, this is a good meme. Like it's super relative. I kind of like memes that are like good memes. They also kind of capture like a moment in time. Because crypto is like big on nostalgia.
Right.
And so I went to go buy Vamp coin, and then I saw that someone had made a Vamp coin too called Vamp the Vamp coin. And that just was like the perfect meme in my
Yeah.
opinion because it was like vamping Vamp coin and the name Vamp coin too, right? Like it just dude, I don't really often like really give it, I trade memes, but I don't like give a shit about them, like it's you buy them to sell them,
Right.
you buy them to get like real money. uh but when a meme you just like really I don't know, man, really fuck with it. It makes it that much easier to like push it or that much easier to want to
To
work
hold
on
it.
it. Yeah, yeah, it's just like it makes it more fun. As silly as that sounds. But yeah, and I think everyone's, really exhausted with the vamping and stuff like that. So this just became a coin for that. So I've been working on that for the last 3 days, man. I barely slept last night, but it's been I usually hate doing this, but this one's actually been pretty fun.
So have you been like making some of the memes and kind of running with it, or?
No, actually, our designer Swish, he did like well, actually, so we got Swish has been doing all the Wojaks and all like the like my background. It's all like hand drawn. He like draws these all day. And so he's been doing all those, and then we got Isaviz who did he did a lot of the videos for Goat. And so he made like a hype video for us. And yeah, so it's funny because they both like did all the content for Goat, and so it was really cool that they were both like available and willing to because it wasn't like we didn't launch a coin. It was another one of those things where like I really
Picked it
liked it, so I just
picked it up.
I bought as much as I could. Yeah. Well, a
Where
couple of us did because it was like, um, I guess this is like it's like relevant to the thing or whatever, but basically like the people that did launch this coin, like were legitimately trying to vamp another coin. And so we were like, me and some friends were just buying it and they just kept dumping on us and dumping on us. And so, before we knew it, we just like owned all of it because like they just kept dumping on us and we didn't want to lose. But yeah,
what's the market cap of the coin right now?
let me look. Sitting at actually 3 mil market cap exactly.
And what's
So
what's a good runner right now for a meme coin?
good rhetoric.
Like a good runner, I mean, is it like a few
Oh, good
million now,
runner.
or
Like,
because a few months ago it was what 20 million or whatever.
yeah, it's kind of like in tiers, man. Yeah, most coins won't make it to 3 mil, and if they do, they usually get up there and go sideways and die or whatever. But then
Hmm.
it's like if you hold that, then the next tier, a lot some of the coins been hanging out between like 10 and 20. You get above 10, you're almost always good for 20, and then there's a couple that are sitting between like 40 and 90. Not there's not a lot of them, but they've all done, they've all held pretty well and have decent like staying power.
What did you do this week as far as trading is concerned, and with the memes or Bitcoin or some of the primary coins?
Um, so I don't really trade perps much, but I traded perps during all this because like how could you not, Um, and so I trade. I think my biggest. I was mostly in the Solana meme coins before they ripped. So like I did pretty well on Peanut and Goat. Um, did well on. I was long Ethereum. I don't know. I missed a lot of the really good ones. Like I missed Mudang. Mudang was crazy. There's a handful of them that I missed, but I mean the ones that I hit, like I I'm really happy with those trades.
And where do you trade perps at?
I trade on Ourbit. Um, I like them a lot. Their liquidity is like surprisingly very good. Uh, like I can enter, on an altcoin if their risk limit's like permitted. I can mark it in for 400K, 500K. I think I had almost like a mil notional on Goat, and I getting out of that one, I had to clip a little bit, but like for the most part, they're super liquid, so I like them a lot, and they're super supportive of meme coins, so that's why I really like was willing to like talk to them. It's just because like they're super super supportive of the meme coin ecosystem. And I think that's really important for the sex dex kind of relationship, I guess.
What other alternatives are? There's Hyperliquid, and what else is there?
Uh, Hyperliquid is really good. And then I mean just the usual like big ones like I know people. I mean, Binance, Bybit. Uh, people just want to trade where there's like liquidity and they're not going to get like destroyed on fees. Um, I know some people who love trading on Rollbit because there's like no order books, and they're happy just to pay
Mhm.
the P&L fee. Which if you're scalping all day long and marketing in and out, then that's like a really good model.
I think Ponzi had a pretty good week. He was into Peanut too, and maybe Goat. I think Gork, Pixel, Griffin, and Sundog. You
Yeah,
touched on those?
I remember him posting those. Yeah, I did well on Gork, but I didn't. I did whiff. Yeah, yeah, I caught the move on whiff. That was nice. Um, but yeah, I pretty much closed everything out like yesterday, like last night. And then I moved a lot of stuff back on chain.
Mhm. Did you did you catch any of the ETH move?
No, that one, that one caught me by surprise. I caught a little bit of it, but like nothing nothing to write home about.
I kind of feel bad. I should have texted the group chat because this was like one of the few times last week I was like, I think I might even buy ETH. And if I'm saying that, then it's probably gonna go up.
That's funny.
I think
Yeah.
I said that like maybe a day before it started ripping.
That's funny.
But yeah, I feel like um, it's. I feel like it'll probably move its way back up a bit, but still gonna not do well against BTC long term. But we'll see what happens. I
Yeah.
I saw a couple pit posts in the timeline that he's gonna flip BCC again, which I started laughing about.
Uh, yeah, man. I don't think that's gonna happen. Um, I don't know. I I I think most people that joined crypto like when we did, you know, well, anyone that was like doing, like on chain stuff, like we came up on Ethereum, right? That's all we had. So there's always a there's always like a sweet spot, not sweet spot,
Mhm.
like a sentimental place there, a nostalgic place. But I haven't held ETH in a long time, just because um
All the actions
well,
on Solana.
one, it only one, it only goes down
Yeah.
uh, against everything. But but yeah, man, I denominate in wherever I'm playing. When it like for most things, obviously, I agree with you. Bitcoin is king, and it's king. For a reason. I would argue that maybe Monero is a little bit better, but for different reasons. It does what it's supposed to do. It's kind of like what like normies think that Bitcoin really is.
Yeah, normally think Bitcoin's Monero. I actually love Monero as well. I don't own any, but I think that it provides all the things that Bitcoin always wanted to be. Um,
Well, even if you did own any, you couldn't prove it.
you couldn't prove it, right? So, but with ETH and all the other L1s, I think there's always going to be a replacement. So there'll be ETH and there'll be Solana. There's going to be Sui or whatever else it might be. So um, people are
Yeah,
people are going to play where they make the most money, and
exactly.
until these smart contracts be something useful other than the casinos, I don't really know. You know,
Um, I mean, I think there is a. I mean, I say ETH, but that's just like the example. But I think like I do think that tokenization of a lot of stuff makes sense. I've been saying that since I guess like it was like 2020 or something like that, and
hmm
we're still not there, but I think like for like proving authenticity of something, I think putting it on a you know public ledger makes a lot of sense,
yep.
like records, like public records, or like supply chain stuff, you know, uh supply chain stuff is like probably the biggest use case in my opinion. But yeah, other
I think
than that, like
seems like stocks too. Like I think Robinhood's trying to put everything on the blockchain for stocks and other things, right?
I haven't looked into it, but it makes sense because again, you're just verifying ownership. Like if you have, you own shares in a company, like you could, you know, use blockchain, immutable to authenticate it, or at least like verify holdings. I think I don't know how this isn't a thing yet, but like voting,
hmm
right? Like
hmm
voting is like probably the number one thing that should honestly be on a blockchain. But maybe we'll get there one day, maybe we won't.
Yeah, I think Robinhood's really trying to push that. I'm a huge believer in that company. I bought a pretty big bag a few like I want to say like a month
Yeah.
ago. But as far as AI integration and blockchain, that's something that I would recommend looking into. I'm still looking at robotics and AI stuff, non crypto related, but um, for me, crypto side, I'm just knee deep in hype and Bitcoin. But um, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, those are two great holdings.
curious to see where the meme world goes. But Rookie seems to be crushing still on Fartcoin, and you know,
Yeah, yeah, I know. My fiance's in Farcoin, and when I was, it was like a house divided when I was running goat. You
yeah.
hear from upstairs, she's like, "Long live Farcoin!" I'm like, "Fuck!" I'm like, "What?" Goat's like just straight down, Farcoin's straight up. I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Goat's
But
starting to move again, though, right?
yeah, yeah, it's doing really well. It got like Binance Alpha last night, I think, which is not spot, but like people trade it like it's a precursor. Yeah, yeah, but it's been. I mean, dude, it was so beat down. Like it was. That's why I kept longing it. It's kind of like an ETH person, right? You just fucking
Yeah,
keep longing it, and eventually you hit it. But yeah, it's done pretty well.
I was moving the last 2 days. I have like a Supreme Goat T-shirt, so I'm gonna have to give that to you. I set it aside for you.
Dude, I have I have I have the George Droid goat shirt where he's like Michael Jackson, it's like the vintage, it says goat on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can wear it inside
Yeah,
the house only.
yeah, yeah, dude, I can't wear that one in public. Like, oh, well, you see, it's this like niche internet meme. I promise it's not racist, but
Did you buy it with crypto or where did you buy it? Like,
no, they have like a merch shop. Um, I was a big holder, dude, and so I was like the videos were really good. So I
oh,
got to I got like giant mouse pad too.
you became Goat for a while.
Yeah, I got lost in the sauce, man.
I mean, it's kind of worth it. Maybe you try to be like the Shiba Inu guy with a mask or some shit.
No. No. No, 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 man. I just like that shirt, bro. Shirt is dope.
You never
But,
know you never know what happens, Rob, if you acquire enough wealth.
yeah, it feels like you get weirder the richer you get. If you
Yeah,
look at,
yeah,
like you're always like, "Why are all these, like, rich Hollywood people fucking doing all this weird shit?" And it's like, I guess they just run out of stuff to do, you know?
yeah. He's like, why are yeah. I think Flood posted something about this. Yeah, yeah. And dude's got a
Yeah.
point. Well,
What's that?
if I get the 9 figs, I'll just stay there. Don't worry, God. I won't get too weird.
Yeah, yeah, bro, I'm gonna put, like, an air tag on you, like, "Up, he's headed to an island."
So, what's your plan this week for trading?
Uh, I've already positioned in what I think are good, good on-chain meme coins that I think people might rotate into. But I really think all eyes. I'm not like trading's not like like my bread and butter. But I'm pretty confident that like you just gotta watch Bitcoin here. Which is like fucking obvious, but I'm not taking any leverage trades and I'm not doing anything crazy. I want to see how it does up here. It's a really big spot. Um, if we start to roll, and start to roll, and fall off, then I think that might be it for a little while.
Mhm.
It's time to find a different different hobby uh, for a little bit. But yeah, that's I'm just keeping an eye on it
Yeah, I think
basically.
usually when everyone has a really good week like last week, there's a runoff. So I'd be cautious.
There's gonna be a
Yeah.
hangover for sure. Like, and that's why I think people are gonna kind of size into meme
Mhm,
coins on
mhm.
Solana, just because like they're not gonna get chopped. Um, I mean, it's just what I think will happen. We'll see if it happens or not. But I think there's kind of three baskets. Like people will buy the ones that are maybe just under 100 mil, and they're gonna try and size into it. For a 2x, maybe a 3x. Um, and then you'll have people that are gonna size into those mid caps between like 13 and 50. I don't think you're gonna see a ton of money rotate into the stuff that's smaller. I definitely don't think you'll see it going into like new coins, because it's just like different
Yeah.
players that are moving
I think we're
this
too far
money,
along in the
from
cycle
from
for like a lot
secondary.
of new coins. You know?
Well, it's just a different game. Not I would say like uh for a new coin to become like the next Pepe, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. But for guys that are like buying a coin that launched on Pump Fund that day and they're just looking to like
Mhm.
ride it, as high as they can. Those coins happen, every day. So, but it's just like a different player. Like people that are playing that game are from a different, uh,
Yeah,
ecosystem,
they're
I
playing an
guess.
advanced meme coin game.
They're playing, yeah, yeah. It's like different
Yeah.
difficulty level, higher difficulty,
Right.
higher reward kind of thing. Potentially. I mean, you could just park a coin somewhere and probably do pretty well for
What
next week.
coins are you into this week?
Um, I won't say some of them, but just because like people ask, people don't want me to like show it, and then it ruins the
Yeah.
chart, uh, so, but I'll just say some coins that I think will do well. Because I'm actually not in some of these yet, and I'm watching 'em, but like I think like Titcoin looks really good. That's kind of like one of those like I think it's like sub 100, but it looks good, and it's been out for a second. I haven't looked at House Coin, but that's had a lot of attention. I still like Gork. I think Gork will do well. Obviously Vamp Coin. Uh, that's in that bottom tier. And then oh I the chart on a Retard Finder coin actually looks pretty good, and it has perps on Bybit, so I could see that one. I could see that one coming back. Um, I think I saw some Wintermute wallets that were like arbing me when I was buying it. So I think they're making markets on Bybit and Dex, if I had to guess. Don't quote me on that. Um, the reason I mention all that is because like that becomes kind of like a delayed perp, like Dex play. Like people can still like long the perp if they want. But yeah, it's some of them.
And some of these coins, like, how do you decide to trade leverage on like a meme coin? Because usually liquidity is kind of low. Like, what structures do you put yourself in place, or what conditions you put in place before you decide to trade a meme?
I mean, I treat it like any other trade. Uh, but I'm not talking about like maybe longing like super illiquid meme coins, But I guess, okay, to answer your question, I look at like what the order book depth is like. Am I going to get trapped in this coin? Like if I take a position, it might be really easy for me to get into it because I'm just like
Hmm.
slamming market orders, or like running a TWAP, which is like fine when you're entering. But if you want to get out, and let's say it starts getting run down, and like you're trying to clip out, and you're just like clearing the books, and you're taking like massive price impact and stuff, like nobody wants to be in that position. So if that's the case, like I'll just buy
Right.
spot. But if it's something like pretty liquid, like with goat, um I'll scalp those, I'll size those. It basically just comes down to if I can get in
What's
and out
pretty
or not.
liquid? Like over 500 million or something, or what?
It's not the market cap, it's just like the market maker, really. Like how much depth is there, you know what I mean? Like like the bids, the
Hmm.
asks, spread, uh or like so anyway, yeah, that's what I look at. Is like if I hit market buy, 200K, 300K notional, whatever, um is that gonna like jump the price? And if I try and close it, is it gonna nuke the price? And if it is, then there's other stuff I'd rather trade,
Right.
you know what I mean?
All right, brother. You got anything else for the week, or we got Luca Nets in a couple days? He was moving around LA last week, so he's going to do it in person, but we're going to do it in a couple of days. I think with Ponzi. If you want to jump on, we can do that too. And I think
Cool.
Keyboard Monkey is
Yeah,
going to come on and talk about Yeet and his new crypto casino
cool.
to to
Yeah,
stop all the
yeah.
degenerate
It's ex-
behavior. He's going to become the degenerates
he's gonna become
overlord.
the house. Yeah, yeah. It's no brainer. No brainer. uh that's awesome, man. I'm excited for him and all that. Yeah, just let me know. I'm probably available. So just let me know and I'll jump on. I don't really have anything else. I'm still waking up, getting my
Yeah.
morning coffee, and
Keep your
just
keep your
catching up on
profits from
everything.
last week, because we'll see. This week's going to be a little weird, I think, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's great
Yep.
feedback.
But love you, brother. Happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you in a few days.
Love you
Yeah.
too.
Peace, bro.